Well, now at 6, 1 year after the Eagle Creek fire started in the gorge, we head out to see how recovery is going tonight. And weeks after a deadly crash, a local woman is facing charges including manslaughter. Plus, flames tear through a local storage unit. A look at the damage left behind.
Live from the KOIN Center in downtown Portland, this is KOIN 6 News. Watching out for you.
Welcome to KOIN 6 News at 6. I'm Trevor Alt. 1 year ago, a 15-year-old Vancouver boy sparked the massive Eagle Creek fire in the gorge after throwing a firework off a cliff. Well, people hiking the Eagle Creek Trail had to be evacuated, and that teen eventually pleaded guilty. In May, a judge ordered him to pay $36 million in restitution. For people who live out in the gorge, life is still not quite back to normal. Our Jennifer Dowling is live in Cascade Locks with more on the continued recovery. Jennifer?
Good afternoon, Trevor. We're near the Bridge of the Gods, and last year it was a much different scene here. The smoke was starting to pour in from the Eagle Creek Trail and flow over the river here, and authorities were evacuating hikers and campers in the area. And the fire was also creeping very close to the Multnomah Falls Lodge. Now, the falls brings in 2.5 million people a year alone, and firefighters had to surround it in the following days to protect the historic building that was built in 1925, keeping those flames at bay, sparing it so people could enjoy it today. Now, the folks that we talked to in the gorge that were out recreating say they're grateful to be able to visit the sites here a year later, but they say the scars of the fire still linger. Many trails are still closed down due to the fire, and businesses like Joe Fish and Cascade Locks that took a hit during last year's tourism season say they're still feeling the impacts.
I mean, it gets tough at times, you know, but I just think, you know, all the people that come and support us, you know,
It's disappointing to see all the trees got burned up, right? Because every time, I mean, like, when I look up, I'll see everything is brown instead of lush green. It's just I feel really sad. I mean, this is happening, and it took so long to have the fire contained.
And Joe Bass of Joe Fish says his grandfather taught him the business. He says last year they were shut out near the Bridge of the Gods for more than 20 days. They couldn't operate their business, so they took a big hit there. So as these businesses recover and the tourists begin to flock here, again, they're seeing the scarring still on those trees, those brown trees still in the gorge, hoping that it will rejuvenate. But at least for those trails that are open and the sites they do get to see today, it is a beautiful weekend for it. Trevor, back to you.
All right, Jennifer, thank you. We do want to mention also Oregon's Department of Transportation is warning gorge visitors about hazards that are still in place. 6 miles of the historic Columbia River Highway are still closed. The section from Bridalveil to Ainsworth is seeing falling rock and trees. And you should remember, if you're visiting Multnomah Falls this holiday weekend, you need to go early. ODOT says the parking lot only has space for 186 cars. It can seat anywhere from 2,000 to 2,500 vehicles per day. Also tonight, a small brush fire burning along 84 is under control, but a viewer sent us some video of the smoke. It looks pretty frightening. The fire was right by the Ainsworth State Park exit. The off-ramp was closed, but it's now back open again. This fire is back under control. At 6:03, we want to get a first check of our weather with meteorologist Joseph Dames. Joseph, it certainly looks gorgeous out there right now.
Yeah, it sure does. I was trying to teeter this camera around, see if we can see any more smoke hanging around, and it looks like a lot of that's clear. So that's the view coming out of the Skamania Lodge. It is a bit windy and it is still dry, so we do not want to see anything spark up. We've seen wind gusts about 10 to 15 miles per hour, a little bit stronger than that, even towards the Dalles there, about 20 miles per hour. We don't have any rain nearby. I am maybe expecting a couple drops early tomorrow morning, but I think it's going to stay to the north of us. We have this disturbance right here. That's brought in some showers, even a severe thunderstorm warning earlier for parts of British Columbia, but we will tap into that a bit. I think it's just going to bring some clouds for us in the morning, so I don't expect much rain for us here in the next 24 hours or so. All right, for your Monday, temperatures in the upper 70s to the maybe the mid 70s for a couple locations. I think over towards the airport about 77 degrees, maybe a little bit warmer than that. Down to the south, Oregon City about 78 nearby. And we have Salmon Creek tomorrow at 75 degrees. A couple locations will be in the 80s. I'll talk about that coming up in my full forecast. We'll have a look at that extended forecast too. Trevor.
Sounds good, Joseph. Thank you. We have just learned that a teenage girl badly injured in a crash on Highway 26 earlier this year has finally been released from the hospital. but now she's charged with manslaughter. You might remember that crash from back in March. Police say Caitlin Marie Potter, who was 18 at the time, lost control of her Chevy Trailblazer and hit 2 other cars. Well, 2 people died. Tom Bonneville, an 80-year-old passenger in one of the other cars, and Kendra Cornwell, a 19-year-old from Gresham, who was in the car with Potter. Shortly after the crash, we spoke with Kendra's grandmother.
It's hard on everybody. Kendra was loved by everybody. She was just a little shining star. You know, she's full of personality and life and love.
In this crash, Caitlin Potter's skull was separated from her spinal column, and she's been recovering at OHSU ever since. Doctors called her recovery a miracle. Well, according to court documents, she's now been released from the hospital and booked into jail on 18 charges. That includes manslaughter and multiple counts of DUI and third-degree assault. She's due in court on Friday. Teachers and administrators in the Evergreen School District held a late-night bargaining session. It ended at about 11 last night without any deal. They returned to the table today at noon, and we haven't gotten updates at this time. Now, this is one of a number of school districts across Southwest Washington where teachers are striking. Thousands of students missed several days of school last week as districts try and reach contract deals with their teachers. Districts in the state got millions of additional dollars from the McCleary decision. Of course, we'll continue to follow the contract talks underway in Southwest Washington, both on air and online. As soon as deals are made or as soon as any school days are canceled, we'll pass that information along to you. Tonight, a local family is grieving after their son died in a horrific crash in Beaverton. We've learned Oscar Pacheco was behind the wheel early yesterday morning when his car went off the road near Southwest Murray Boulevard and Hart Road, and then he crashed into these trees and was killed. Today, his family gathered together to mourn and to talk about their love for him.
It's hard right now, but, you know, we all love each other, and we're all going to get through this together, and we all miss him, and, you know, I hope he knows that we love him. You know, we're not going to stop loving him.
Oscar had just turned 20 years old a week ago. We're still working to learn the cause of the crash. And while the Washington County Sheriff's Office was investigating that crash scene, deputies say 2 drunk drivers drove by. The Sheriff's Office says 30-year-old Jin Soo Kim and 18-year-old Alexis Vasquez Garcia were both arrested. The department has been doing a DUI blitz this weekend. They say they arrested 13 people in just the first night. Portland police, meanwhile, are looking for a man accused of robbing a gas station in southeast Portland. It happened around 11:30 last night. Police say a man walked into the Astro station near southeast Cesar Chavez and Gladstone. Police say that man implied that he had a weapon. Employees tell us he took off with cash and a carton of cigarettes. No one was hurt. The suspect is described as a white man in his 20s, below average height with a scruffy beard. He was last seen walking away from the station. New at 5, some flames tear through a Hillsboro storage facility. Take a look at what firefighters encountered when they arrived at Secure Storage. That's along Northeast Cornell, and this was this afternoon. Firefighters had to force their way inside 18 units. They knocked down the fire within 20 minutes, and now a fire investigator is trying to determine what caused this fire. The late Senator John McCain was laid to rest today at a private ceremony at the U.S. Naval Academy. A horse-drawn carriage carried the casket from the chapel to the cemetery as his family walked behind it. Overhead, a flyover of military aircraft paid tribute to the Navy pilot. The private ceremony was the final event of nearly a week of remembrances, stretching from Arizona to Washington to Annapolis, Maryland. We're learning more about the upcoming Supreme Court confirmation hearings and when they will begin. Judge Brett Kavanaugh will be introduced to the Senate by some familiar faces. Mark Meredith has a look at what to expect.
Judge Brett Kavanaugh's Senate confirmation hearing is expected to last 4 days. Iowa Senator Chuck Grassley chairs the Judiciary Committee. He says despite pleas by some Democrats to postpone the proceedings, the schedule is set.
We're going to have a hearing next Tuesday. There's nothing that I see standing in the way.
On Tuesday, 2 famous faces will introduce Kavanaugh to the committee. Former Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice and Ohio Senator Rob Portman will endorse Kavanaugh's credentials and character.
I've worked with him. I've known him for about 15 years. He's just a really good person.
On Tuesday, committee members will also deliver opening remarks. On Wednesday and Thursday, Kavanaugh will face questions from both parties. And on Friday, both supporters and activists against Kavanaugh's nomination will testify. Judge Kavanaugh has had few public statements since he was nominated in July, but behind closed doors, he's met with senators from both parties trying to win support before the hearings. But Democrats like Oregon Senator Jeff Merkley remain firmly against Kavanaugh's nomination. Merkley says the judge's past comments tell him all he needs to know.
He believes more in a vision that a president cannot be indicted and can't even be investigated.
But the White House is doing all it can to win over moderate Democrats. This week, it published a letter from 150 legal scholars and professors who've endorsed Kavanaugh's nomination. In Washington, I'm Mark Meredith.
Round-the-clock access to PDX is now a reality for TriMet. The expanded service has been brought back by popular demand. Bus line 272 operates between 2 and 4 in the morning. It provides overnight service between the airport and a stop at 82nd and East Burnside in the Montevilla neighborhood. The night bus also connects with expanded overnight service on the major east and west bus lines. That's 20 and 57.
That opportunity to get here without having to take a cab, without having to park a car, etc. So we're really excited about this expansion.
Our service officially started today. It's part of TriMet's big expansion project. You can read more about the new routes and services on KOIN.com. We also have a traffic alert. More closures are ahead for the I-5 and I-84 ramps. ODOT is finishing up the resurfacing work, and that's going to require nighttime and weekend closures for the next 2 months. The first closure starts Tuesday night. The ramp from I-5 north to 84 east will close at 10. That'll close each night. It should reopen by 5 each morning through September 14th. Coming up on KOIN 6 News, it was a popular spot to take pictures on the Oregon coast. And 2 years ago, a group was caught on camera destroying Duckbill Rock. We have a look at where the investigation stands tonight. The video went viral around the world, a group of vandals toppling a natural treasure on the Oregon coast. But these suspects have never been punished. 2 years ago, the crime was caught on camera, the destruction of Duckbill Rock at Cape Kiwanda in Tillamook County. Our Dan Tilkin is following up with where the investigation stands now.
Dude, holy I thought they were just doing it, you know, to get like a cool social media picture.
Just days after he caught it on camera, David Callis and his friend described the troubling moments at Cape Kiwanda.
We looked over and there was probably 8 guys pushing over the big rock.
This is what Duckbill Rock looked like before the act of destruction. The after pictures sparked so much outrage, it seemed like it wouldn't be long before someone, somewhere, turned in the group, or a guilty conscience won out.
One of the guys replied to me that it was a safety hazard and that one of their friend's friend broke their leg while on top of the rock. They kind of just like laughed it off, took it with pride that they destroyed something magnificent, and then just kind of disappeared right after. Like, it had no meaning to them whatsoever.
But 6 months after the crime, Oregon State Police announced the leads became dead ends. Now it might be too late to prosecute anyone. The Tillamook County District Attorney tells me the statute of limitations is 2 years for a misdemeanor, which means as of today, the suspects would be scot-free. But if the case could be prosecuted as a felony, then the statute of limitations is 3 years. A crime rises to a felony based on value, but how do you put a value on an ancient rock formation? Well, the DA says another Tillamook County case could provide guidance. These are pictures of the Cape Mears Lighthouse with bullet holes through the glass lenses. You could argue the lenses were priceless because they were handmade in France 120 years ago. The vandals responsible were charged with a felony. In the end, they got a month and a half in jail and were ordered to pay $100,000. But of course, they were caught. This group of people caught on camera doing this despicable act to Duckbill Rock are still out there, living punishment-free.
The fact that they went through all that effort to destroy something without any intention and just leaving is heartbreaking.
Dan Tilkin, KOIN 6 News.
Oregon State Police tell KOIN 6 they, quote, exhausted quite a bit of leads and interviewed people who had reported knowing who the video was from, and no solid information was obtained. Their lead investigator in the case no longer works for OSP. If anyone has any tips after all this time, they should call Oregon State Police. Caught on camera, a tornado in Michigan. This EF0 hit last night. The National Weather Service says it was on the ground for 2 minutes and there are no reports of any injuries. There was some reported damage. The same storm produced 2 other tornadoes yesterday as well. Meanwhile, meteorologist Joseph Dames is a little bit bored by how great our weather is. It's picture perfect all around.
It sure is. I can never complain about
right.
it. I mean, that's why everyone loves living here. It's so nice.
Right.
We're going to have at least another day to about 4 or 5 days of this nice weather. I was talking about Labor Day tomorrow, though. If you have plans, I know a lot of people have maybe some time off. You just want to relax and maybe enjoy your day. Well, it's going to start off a little cloudy for the coast and the valley, mainly the northern Willamette Valley. I think if you're in areas like Salem down towards maybe Lebanon, Corvallis, it's probably going to be nice and clear for you throughout just about all day. So your temperatures will be slightly warmer. By lunchtime, I think we'll clear on out. We should have sunshine. We'll top off likely in the mid to upper 70s, but areas like Salem, you'll probably top off about 80 degrees tomorrow. That goes for the gorge too, and over towards Madras and Bend, the coast. Nice and sunny, lower to mid 60s. All right, here's your weather headlines. That's a view of Vancouver, or at least coming from Vancouver over towards Oregon. Nice nights. It's going to be a great Labor Day, too. A little bit warmer Tuesday through Thursday. I'm talking about lower to mid 80s on Tuesday. Probably the mid to upper 80s, though, by Wednesday, making it the warmest day this week. And then a chance for some rain later on, probably Friday into Saturday. So those are the big headlines. Notice that we're not going to see any substantial changes over the next 5 to 7 days. All right, how about this photo? You can go ahead and find me on social media if you want to send some photos in. This is at Manzanita Beach, courtesy to Rick Hampton. So thanks for sending that in. Look at the waves. I like that, to shredding. All right, it's 80 degrees right now in Portland, 82 in Salem, 83 for Eugene, the coast in the 60s and 50s. And Hood River at 77 degrees there in the gorge. We're about 5 to 10 degrees warmer than we were standing at this point yesterday. Nice clear conditions out there right now. Some clouds off the coast of Washington, maybe approaching Astoria. And then just to the north of us, though, we've had some showers and even a couple thunderstorms. They had a warning at one time, which means they had some strong wind or heavy rain or potentially some hail there. But we're dry here in Washington and Oregon. We might tap into some of that energy early tomorrow morning. Probably going to bring some clouds in for parts of Portland and Vancouver, Kelso, Longview, areas like that, and possibly some light rain off to the north. So if you have plans to maybe visit Seattle tomorrow for just the day, you might see a little bit of rain, at least for the first part of the day, and then it starts to dry up by the evening hours. Here's Tuesday. It's nice and dry. We'll keep those dry and warmer conditions Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So we got a 3-day spree there where it's going to feel more like summer, less like fall for at least 3 days or so. But we need the rain. We haven't seen much rain. Drought monitor still keeping us dry across the state, and hopefully we can improve this majorly as we go into the fall months. Maybe sometime in September here we'll start seeing some rain, but it looks like at least the next 5 to 7 days we won't be seeing much. All right, how about your 7-day forecast? 82 on Tuesday, Wednesday 87. So there's a little spree of days there, just a chain of them. That's going to feel real good, more like summer. And then a chance for some showers Friday and Saturday. Temperatures in the 70s. 75 degrees on Friday and Saturday at 73. So that's going to be the coolest days there. Warmest day again on Wednesday. And then, yeah, just a splash of rain, Trevor. So even though I have rain in the forecast Friday and Saturday, at this point in time, it's just not going to be that much.
When does it typically fall off? Like
and start seeing some warmer, usually October.
October?
Yeah, so September is
so we got plenty of time left still. Awesome. Thank you, Joseph. Coming up next on KOIN 6 News, a priest at the center of a sex abuse scandal holds mass. We're going to show you his message to the church today. Developing now, a frantic search is underway on the Colorado River near the border of Arizona and California. Rescue teams are looking for 4 people missing after they were thrown into the fast-moving waters when 2 boats collided. They were going about 50 miles an hour at the time of the crash last night. Those boats sank, and passing boaters rescued people from the water. Washington's Catholic Archbishop Cardinal Donald Wuerl is asking for prayers of forgiveness. The embattled Archbishop held Mass today amid calls for his resignation. A grand jury's report said he is at fault for covering up child abuse by clergy in Pennsylvania.
Where do we go in the light of so much that has bruised and hurt?
I mean, if this is his statement, it doesn't really cover what was unveiled in the
Pennsylvania investigation.
Well, that Pennsylvania investigation uncovered more than 300 predator priests credibly accused of sexually abusing more than 1,000 child victims going back to 1947. We're going to take another break. When we come back, he couldn't grab a foul ball, but one baseball player was still able to grab something from the stands. We'll show you what coming up next. Finally tonight, a Baltimore Orioles player tried to chase down a foul ball, but it's a little bit too far back in the seats. So instead, second baseman Jonathan Villar grabbed a snack from a Kansas City Royals fan. That woman doesn't even notice. She's watching the scrum to get the foul ball, and then you got to take advantage of opportunities, Joseph. Look at that. Totally unaware. Very crafty.
Did he get popcorn, nachos?
Cracker Jacks, maybe?
Cracker Jacks. Yeah. Cracker Jack forecast for our Tuesday and Wednesday, 87 degrees. That's a word, right?
What?
I had to go for
What
it.
does that mean?
It's a great
All
forecast.
right. More Cracker
Great
Jack forecast and news at 11.